Alright, well, let me start off by saying this is probably not a game for everybody. Um, the reality is, it's a very slow paced game. It takes a lot of patience, a lot of planning, a lot of everything. Um, so, let's start off with the basics. And these are, like I say, these are things I wish I knew when I first started. So, let's go ahead and start off with how do you transport shit wherever you need to be? Well, that's an easy one at this stage. Let's go ahead and bring this beast. And if you're wondering what this beast is, I'll cover that in a minute. So let's set this up first. Alright, so now we're in the garage. So, to move garages, it's one thing you don't really see. It seems to be a lot of, like, people figure it out as they go along type thing. But, here comes on one of the things I wish I knew. So, if you want to move your truck somewhere else, you'll see a button now. For Xbox, it's retain. It's X, which I believe on PS4 is square. So if you want to take this truck somewhere else, you will hit that button. Boom, there's one. Alright. There's two. And there's three. So what we do now, we go to the global map, right? So I have all four of the Michigan settings opened. So let's go back to Black River, where this all begins. And let's, well, first let me orientate my map so I know where I'm at. You kind of get used to the way the map is. So if you want to do it, if you're in the global map and you need to jump around, one good thing is so you know where your spot is, right? You go here and right-click the thumbstick, and it pops up A. X on PlayStation 4. So you click that, boom, it'll bring you back over to where you are. Oh, well, let's wait for this to load up. It'll get there. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I'm on Xbox One, so it's a little slower. Sorry. So now you're back at a different garage, and if you want to bring your trucks back to this garage, go up to your trucks, select them. Right, so here's the GMC, the first car you start out with in the game. You hit A, you deployed it, right? And there it is. It's back in this environment. Ignore these. We'll get into that later. Go back to trucks. All right, here's your Fleet Star. Deploy. Hit back. Good. Go to the empty slot. Trucks. Deploy. Back. Boom. Now, so all your vehicles are now back in your garage. So the CK1500 is the first vehicle you start out with, and I highly recommend working on it, right? So this is not that. Ignore that. Okay. Hold on, where's it at? There. So this is a DLC vehicle. It's the Con 39 Marshall. It's a nightmare to drive. It really is. It comes with 44-inch tires. Already has a lift kit. Other bullshit. It is, as far as scout vehicles go, it's a pain in the ass. It's good for slow shit, rock climbing, this and that. But as far as what you're given and what you're dealt with, stick with the GMC, honestly. So on the customization, I have pretty much everything that can be done in this truck at this stage. I have multiple engine choices. I stick with the lower engine choices, to be honest, because this big bad boy, it just eats way too much gas. Not worth it. So the stock is the 4.0. I have the 4.4 in it, which you unlock through various exploration stuff. You end up unlocking also through various exploration this SnowRunner transmission differential. So that gives you the option of not only low, but it's a low high and a low low, which is nice. And when you couple that with other things, you'll see why. And going through, your stock height, and you'll find the raised kit as you're progressing around. My biggest thing, so your stock tires, right? Here's your stock tires. They're a joke. On-road excellent, off-road average, mud poor. And you will find that out the hard way, because that's just how this game works. It's a grinding game. This is not Gran Turismo. This is not Forza. This is a grinding game. So you will be stuck with these tires for quite some time. You will slowly unlock things. Initially, I had unlocked the all-terrain versions of this, and I didn't have the lift kit yet. You can only rock like a 31-inch tire on a stock suspension. You can unlock the 35s. Once you do lift the vehicle, you can unlock a 35. As my leveling went up, I'm now able to rock these 38-inch off-road tires, which, as you can see, average on-road, excellent off-road, good mud. It actually makes it a very good scout vehicle at that stage. You can, with these tires, you can walk your way out of mud and stuff like that. It does actually make the game easier. The winch, this is actually critical, and I'll tell you how to get all this money in a minute. These are the things you need to have. So you absolutely need the autonomous scout. This is a no-brainer, because you will roll this thing, and when you get into other things like the International Scout 800, or even if you do have the Con, you will roll this thing a lot. So what you need, you have to have this autonomous scout. So what this will do is basically, if your vehicle's upside down, your engine's not running, this thing runs on a separate battery, and you can pull your vehicle back over. This is actually extremely critical for a lot of reasons when you're exploring. There's a lot of solo stuff where, get to point A, get to this point, get to that point, take some time out or whatever. There's a couple missions like that. There's one called like Beyond the Spruces, and another one where you have to explore some higher things, and you'll need it, because trust me, I've rolled off these hills multiple times. So you need the autonomous scout. It is a lifesaver, so you don't have to keep restarting stuff. You don't have to recover, go back to your warehouse and start all over again. That's a nightmare. You will unlock the engageable diff lock, which is a lifesaver when you start getting into the deep marsh stuff. Frame add-ons. This is an absolute necessity. Hold off. Don't waste your money on the other bullshit. Get yourself a small roof rack. It gives you 40 extra liters of gas and a spare tire. Trunk repairs is the first thing you'll get, which is some minor repairs that you can see in the bed, and a spare tire. Those will come in handy when you start bashing up your suspension and this and that bullshit. Those will help you can repair on the road. As you level up, you'll unlock the small roof rack, which gives you, like I said, 40 extra liters of gas. You can do it at 20 liters at a time, and another spare tire. I haven't unlocked this yet. You have to be a rank 14. So I'm looking at that. I'm seeing a spare tire, some spare parts, and probably the same amount of gas, so about 40 liters that you can do at 20 liters at a time. Snorkel-wise, the tall mushroom will get you through pretty much everything you need to deal with for quite a while. I've been through a lot. I've got about 40 hours in this game, and so far, the tall mushroom, I haven't had any issues as far as water depths go. You go to customize visuals is literally just what it says. It is aesthetics. There's nothing else about it. Now, so from what I've seen and what I'm gathering, so if you add these side pipe thresholds, they do help protect your gas tank. From what I've seen, angled sun visor is literally just for looks. Rear bumper, aesthetics. Rooftop, like I said, don't fuck with that because you want that rooftop mount. So don't even bother with the rooftop aesthetic shit. This is all aesthetics as far as I can tell. Nothing here makes really any difference. It's mostly just looks. And I like the old angle iron front end with the tow hooks and the, you know, the extra fogs or whatever. You can get some rims. I kept the stock rims, aftermarket, you know, like, it's not really anything worth anything at that stage. So what it really boils down to, so this is a vehicle you can find along your waist or whatever. This is a DLC vehicle, pain in the ass to drive. Does really good when it comes to rock climbing and stuff like that. It does really good. You do have to be careful if you're in a super low gear with your diffs locked. It does pop wheelies from a dead stop. This is probably going to be the majority of people's key vehicle, the Fleet Star. You'll get this once you finally do unlock the garage, and I'm going to go over the process of what I think is that makes the life the easiest when you're doing this. So this vehicle is probably going to be the majority of people's go-to vehicle at the start of this game. You know, it's very customizable. There's a lot of options available in the Michigan locations. So this one here, this is a DLC truck, the Navistar 5000 MV. This thing's it's a fucking beast. I'm not gonna lie. It takes a lot longer to do upgrades for unlocks, you know. Whereas, you know, on the Fleet Star, you start unlocking the wheels, you know, at like level, I want to say like 5 or 6, but, and you know, I have these on it right now, which give you a good on-road, a good off-road, and an average mud. So what you need to just be cognizant about and just like understand right off the bat, you're gonna fucking struggle no matter what it is. Off-road shit, even on this, doesn't even unlock till rank 8. It is what it is. You know, just deal with it. Chained, stay away from Alaska, Russia until you're able to unlock chain, which is until rank 12. And as I said before, this is a grinding game. So I'm rank 7. Anybody who's played this game already knows it takes a lot to get to rank 7. It really does. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of whatever. So I wouldn't even attempt the Alaska and the Russia stuff until you can unlock these chains, which is until rank 12, which is almost 2 times what I am currently. A lot of the stuff, like the Fleet Star, is decent for what it is. It has engageable all-wheel drive. You know, throw the snorkel on it when you can, as soon as you can afford it. Frame add-ons, I ignore that thing. What I would do is, like I've done, I throw the flatbed on it. It holds 2 slots for anything. So if say so you're building a bridge and it requires 2 slots of wood, you can hold those 2 slots of wood here. What else I added on was the crane. So you can add the crane and the flatbed on at the same time. This seems like nothing at first, but trust me, when you start flipping this son of a bitch over and dropping your load, you'll realize how crucial this crane really is. You can, if you do flip it, you can use this crane or your winch to flip you back onto your wheels. And you can use this crane to reload the essentials back onto your vehicle. And when this starts happening, you will realize how important that actually really is. So you can combine these two. You can combine the flatbed with the crane, which is a beautiful thing, actually. It makes this truck more valuable, in my opinion. You know, we get into the visuals again. It's literally for looks. You know, the paints, they're just looks. That stuff's irrelevant. So let's leave the garage for a minute. And so here we are. It's nighttime, clearly. So a couple of things. You know, you fire your truck up, take it off. So one thing that does annoy me and I think needs to be worked on is your steering is also the zoom on your camera. Now that I found that to be quite annoying on many levels, where I'm navigating through things and I go to turn and I just barely lift up and I'm zooming in, right? It's pretty fucking annoying, honestly. It really is. They need to, if the devs could have some sort of fixed camera angle, like a camera far, camera near, or whatever, that would be really nice. So anyway, let's move up. So, and we'll start working on the things that matter, right? It's often very foggy. It's a very Silent Hill vibe. You'll do a lot of this bullshit. So, understanding how big trucks work, right? I've driven big trucks. I was a mechanic for U-Haul actually for years, and need to understand how a large truck with a large tire works. The wheels do not self-center, and this game is it's actually pretty accurate as far as that goes. Your wheels do take time to self-center, and so what you end up seeing, and if you watch people play, you'll see them swerving up and down the road a lot. And I've seen it on a lot of the videos I've watched, you know, or because they're constantly doing this bullshit, right? Don't do that when you're turning. You know, you turn all the way and you just let the wheel go, and then it helps. It'll center itself. It just takes a little longer. You know, it's a large wheel, it's a large tire. You know, stuff like that. Like it just takes things. So here we are in a kind of a scenario where it's, you know, maybe a little troubling to see. One thing I have not seen on any video yet is, how do I turn on my headlights? Well, that's quite simple. And if you're on Xbox, which I'm playing on Xbox currently, or even PlayStation 4, hold down your left button, your left bumper, and that'll bring up, you'll see it brings up the transmission selector. But if you hit B or circle on PlayStation 4, it turns on your headlights, right? So it gives you a little better visual, because there is times where the visual is not very good. So currently we're in two-wheel drive, and we're pulling up this little hill here, you know, and then the music kicks on randomly. You know, there's no real licensed music in this, but whatever. And then here we go in some mud, right? All right. Oh, and there's your random engine damage. So we're stuck, right? We're burying in. So we can do a couple things here. We can hit Y or triangle, yes, on PS4, and it connects the winch. You press and hold Y or triangle, it starts pulling your truck that way. Hit the gas, starts pulling you in. Steer towards that way, starts pulling you in even more. Right? That helps out a lot, actually, it really does. B or circle disconnects the winch. So now you're here. Most commonly, when you're stuck in the mud like this, you'll hit left bumper and X, or I believe square for PS4. That engages your all-wheel drive. So you can start going through. And this truck, like I say, I've got the lifted suspension. I have better tires on it, so it kind of cruises through the mud a little better than the stock version of this truck will. Now let's say you get into a scenario where, like, you're really deep in the mud, right? Super deep in the mud. Well, I've owned 4x4 vehicles and I've done a lot of off-roading. What happens when you get this deep? You start rocking your tires, right? It's like this. That'll help pull you out of those muddy situations. Now, if you really get in some real shit, which you will, I promise, what you can do is, I always put the handbrake on, hold left bumper, and on the right stick, click over to low. Now that engages you into your low gear. Release your handbrake, and now you're in a low gear, but you're still in an open diff. So you see how the front tires are spinning, but your back tires aren't moving. So you can do other things. You can either quick, you know, Y or triangle for a quick winch and try to pull yourself out of it. Or what I like to do is hit left bumper and Y. That locks your diff. What locking your diff does is makes all four of your wheels turn at the same time. So it's not going to do the transfer power of an open diff where, oh, this wheel's spinning, send power over here. This locks your diff. All four wheels spin at the same time no matter what. So what you can do is you hit the gas, unlock your handbrake, and it climbs up. Now you're going to move at a much slower rate, but this gives you the ultimate grip and ultimate control at that stage. So when you get into heavy mud and heavy everything, which this is considered easy right now, it really it comes in handy to be able to have. So here's that scenario. Steer left a little bit, walk your way out of the mud. You get buried, just walk your way out of the mud. It's pretty simple for the most part. If you want to get out of this gear, hold left bumper, click over to A, and you're in normal all-wheel drive again. It automatically unlocks the diff and unlocks everything, and you start just climbing up. So, oops, I didn't mean to hit that. Main tips on all of this before this gets too long. Step one. Here's a perfect step one. When you're sitting in this mode, your truck's running, right? Currently at idle, I'm consuming 3.1 liters a minute in fuel. That's a lot. When you go into your map, you still hear your vehicle running. And you're consuming gas while you're in your map. So if you're in here and you're looking around or whatever, trying to figure out what you want to do, you're currently consuming gas the entire time your vehicle's running. So what I always do is if I want to go onto my map and I'm going to start digging around, put your handbrake on, press up on your D-pad, go over, stop engine. Beautiful. No gas consumed. Open your global map, which is the little left button, and it looks like two windows, and now your map's open. So here's you. And then you can figure out where you want to do your objective from there. You're not wasting any gas at that point because you're just sitting there. So now that those simple things are out of the way, let's look at the map as a whole. So the first step before anything, unlock the fucking map. Literally get into your scout vehicle, whatever it is. It's most likely going to be the CK-1500. It's a Sierra, Cheyenne, Silverado, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's the same damn truck no matter what it is. Unlock the map. Open all the watchtowers. This is really critical for doing things. You'll have to go a long ways. You'll have to do long routes to do stuff like this, but it's worth it to get it all unlocked. Your second step is you have to kind of, before you can even actually do that, I should have reworded this, is you have to follow the main level and you have to build the main bridge. So the main bridge is right here. Right, you'll have to do this before anything. You'll have to get one metal plank and 2 wood planks. Bridges you have to do in order. You have to do the metal before you can do the wood. There's no way around that. It's pretty much the only thing that forces you to do a thing in order. So once this main bridge is built, that's when you open all this shit up and you're able to get to your garage. When you get to your garage, you will see about right here-ish, before you get to the garage entrance, there's a vehicle called the Fleet Star, which is what we're in right now up in this muddy region. So that'll be your first vehicle. Your second actual vehicle, because while you're doing the other stuff, I believe it's around somewhere over here-ish. I can't remember exactly where. Your first vehicle is a GMC, right? And it's a road vehicle. The reality is it's a pile of crap. It's going to get you to what you need to do to build this bridge. And once you build this bridge, it does open up this where you find the Fleet Star. So once you do all that and you get the main bridge opened up, I highly recommend selling the Fleet Star. Or not the... Dios mío. Sell the GMC. So if we go in here, let's look at what it is. So if you right-click, when you get over something, you right-click, right? It opens up A as your option, or X on PlayStation 4. Click on it again, it brings you into your slot. Right? So you have... These are the vehicles you have in your garage. Now, if I go to the truck store, that GMC that you can get is right here. You can sell it for that price. You get $26,300 when you sell it. After you collect the Fleet Star. So that you sell it for that, and what the beauty is, it also, the price you sell it for, you buy it back for, which is really, really nice. It kind of balances out like that. Like, you don't need that thing in the beginning. It does have this seismic vibrator compatibility, which only a couple other vehicles have. Like, this one has it. but you don't get that until way later in the game. So, in the beginning, the GMC, the MH9500, sell it. Get that $26,300. Put that money into that Fleet Star 2070A, because if you don't have the pre-order or the DLC or the season pass, you're not going to have the Navistar. So this Fleet Star is going to be your number one. It's what you're going to be stuck with. Get the money, put the money into this truck. You can always buy the GMC back later for the same price you sold it for. Unless it had mods on it, you do get more for them if they do have the mods. They do include. It includes that price, which is kind of nice. So, get rid of that son of a bitch. You don't need it. Build up your Fleet Star. So, like I say, build the bridge, get your Fleet Star once your garage is open, and then sell the GMC. Very simple. So, then you run around. Literally, you run around. I'm not going to use that to go outside with. And just open up all the watchtowers. Get your zones open. You can see I haven't opened up everything yet. I've opened up all the watchtowers, and I've cruised through some zones or whatever, but I haven't opened everything up yet. There's still a bit I have to work on, and I have almost all this done. You'll see when you open it up, the tasks are scrolling long, and I'm down to 3 tasks. As far as contracts go in this area, I have 1 left. So you have all that. Get all that open. Scout the area. Don't even mess with anything else. After you build that bridge, don't fuck with anything else. Get the shit open so that you have an idea of what's going on. It helps. The next step is trailers. There are trailers all over the map. Like, they are literally everywhere. When you first start opening this up, there's even one sitting right here that I haven't grabbed yet. A Scout flatbed. This one I left here purposely myself as a fuel carrier due to a thing in a task that did not work out the way I wanted. So the key with that is, they will all stay here if you bring them back. They'll stay wherever you leave them. So the flatbed semi-trailer is amazing. Ramp flatbed has some stuff on it I haven't used yet. There's a service trailer which only has service parts, no fuel, only for repairing vehicles if there's a task for that, which in this map there's not. I have another random service trailer right here. There's also a trailer store where you can buy trailers, but there's so many of them that are just littered around the map. Keep 1 of each. Any extras you find, sell them. It's extra money, literally. There's so many 2-slot flatbeds laying around the map. I think there's at least 3 you can sell. And just keep 1. You only need 1. Or if you build the Fleet Star up the way I have it, where you have a 2-slot flatbed with the crane, you can throw in that single flatbed, which I have one sitting over there. And that gives you 4 slots automatically. The semi-trailer flatbed, 4 slots automatically. You can use the low saddle. That's another thing I actually wanted to add on to that. Was when you go into your garage entrance. Oh, it's playing games. All right, here we go. We'll use this as a thing just to show. So when you go to your frame add-ons, right, you can add a crane, which I keep the crane on this just in case. There's a saddle high, saddle low. Saddle high, you're not going to really have to worry about. That's for heavy-duty semi-trailers. Like, it's not something you really got to deal with. Add the saddle low. It's free. Add that initially if you can have 2 vehicles. Like I say, if you can't, you always have the hook at the backside that will take a non-semi-trailer add-on. So the way like I have my Fleet Star, let me back out of this local map. You hover over it, right-click your right stick, hit A, and you're back in it. So this one, say, has the 2-slot flatbed, the crane, and it has a hook underneath, so I could take normal standard hook-on trailers. So that's 4 slots right there you can use if you are trapped with this vehicle. Not a problem. You can do it. One of the major other things, once you start getting all this stuff, you know, a lot of this stuff you won't be able to do right away. But when you sell the GMC, you should be able to afford this setup on the Fleet Star. You should be able to get the flatbed, you should be able to get the crane, and you're kind of set from there until you start leveling up to get better tires. The next main thing, while your NPC does his weird thing, he'll actually fall asleep if you sit there long enough. He's cracking his neck right now because he's been sitting too long. So after going around and grabbing some trailers or whatever and selling them, before that, which I'm a little out of order, I apologize, but I would clear the roads. There's a ton of tasks. You can do right from the get-go. I believe right here, this power line is actually hanging over here. It takes a little bit of concrete, some other bullshit. Boom, that opens up this whole road, right? Up here, there's another rock slide. I think it's right here. You could build another bridge here. All that kind of stuff, do it. Anything you do to open the map, shorten some distances, do them. It's very critical to your end game because it cuts your time down. It makes your jobs more efficient. All that fun stuff. So any of the stuff where you see where it's like a, you know, clear this, build a bridge here. This is actually another bridge right here. A little wood bridge you can build. You know, it just takes a couple of, you know, planks of wood, which you get from this lumber mill here. You know, it's kind of simple because it's just a little, and you're done. Do that stuff. Build the bridges, clear the roads. It will really make life easy in the long run. The end game in this game, this is not a game for everybody. This game takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of thinking, a lot of planning. Not a lot of people like that. They like run and gun. They like shooty shoot. They like to go fast. You know, this is not that game. This is a problem solvers type of game. It's a puzzle. It's a giant puzzle piece, and it's very satisfying in the end. Some of the real quick, I mean, this is already getting too long, but some of the quick type stuff you can learn. So if you press up on your D-pad, that'll be the same for both consoles. You have your options to attach a trailer, start a truck. You can change your truck if you have another truck near. You can swap over instantly. You will need to use trucks to pull trucks out of mud. I promise you. I've done it dozens of times where I've gotten a truck buried, had to bring another truck, and I've had to drive it all the way across the map to get that other truck, hook a winch to it, drag that truck out. It will happen. It does happen. Recover, what that does is if your truck is screwed, you're just completely hosed. You roll over, you're out of gas, whatever. You click that, sends you back to your warehouse, refuels you, does all your repairs for you, and you're ready to rock and roll, but you do have to start from your warehouse. The crane, you go to crane, you know, that's where you operate your crane from. So if you're in a vehicle that dumps this load or whatever, you can use the crane to pick the load up. Cargo, I don't know why this says remove cargo all the time. There's nothing on there currently. But you do need to make sure that when you do have cargo on your vehicle, that you make sure it is secured. You will have multiple options when you do have cargo on there. If you load it yourself onto the back of the flatbed, there will be a prompt that jumps up that says attach cargo. Make sure you do that or it will fall off. even if it's attached, if you roll over, it's going to fall off. You got to reload it. You got to start over. You know, it's like I say, that's where the plotting and the planning really does come into play. You know, there's a lot of things. Your pathing, your planning, all that stuff comes into play. Fuel stations. While there really isn't technically a time limit in the game, fuel is your limiting factor. You can run out of fuel very easily. This town is forgiving. There's 2 fuel stations in Black River. You get into the other towns, you have 1. So that's where it becomes more critical to plan your paths better, or carry a fuel trailer with you, or if you're in a scout vehicle, to add rooftop mounts and trunk mounts that have extra fuel and stuff like that, because you will run out of fuel. I promise you, it's happened to me many times. when you start getting out into stuff like this, and you're in all-wheel drive with lockup, you are literally burning gas like you could not believe. But the initial map, the Black River, it's a great starter map. I suggest trying to finish off as much of the stuff as humanly possible. These are main missions, like I say. The right bumper opens your tasks, and these are all the tasks I have left. Some of the tasks will require you to have other maps open. You know, if I go to the global map, I have all 4 of the Michigan maps open. I do have Alaska open as well, but we want to focus on the starting out aspect of the game. As far as these 4 maps go, Black River is by far the easiest. Smithville Dam, it's very challenging. There's a lot of shit going on. Island Lake, I would highly recommend being a pretty decent level before even tackling Island Lake. It has a lot of deep mud. I mean, you can even see in the thumbnail, it's submerged. It really is. Drummond Island has a lot of swamps. It's actually a good area. Smithville Dam, let's do a quick look at it here. I have everything open in there. It does have a lot of, there's some watery areas and stuff. It's not as bad. What's nice about Smithville Dam is right when you come out of the gateway to Black River, if you hang a right, your garage is right there. I mean, it's just like, boom, it's right there. And then you're able to transfer your vehicles back and forth. And you can, jump across this area to get to your warehouse, get bricks. There's upgrades, and there's still a lot of stuff I need to do in this area. There's still a lot of upgrades, and here's another sideboard trailer I can grab and I can go sell. There's a gateway to Island Lake. These maps are ridiculous. They are really ridiculous. They're huge. I'm not even in Alaska. I've opened the garage in Northport, but I'm not even gonna touch it just because, I don't have chain tires. It's snow. It's ice. My vehicles, even at max level, I have my CK1500 is at a max level I can get. It's got some of the best shit on it, but it's still not ready. My Navistar is a beast, but it's not ready. Focus on Michigan. Get the stuff done here, especially Black River. Try to get Black River done. Gives you the good open ups. It opens up a lot of this shit, and like I say, it's just makes life easy just to have it all open and open up all the bridges, clear the road debris. You'll see a lot of fallen rocks. I think there's actually another one somewhere over here ish, where it just requires a couple service parts that you grab, and it opens up a whole new road of shit. It just, that stuff makes life easier, and those are my recommendations. Any comments, questions, whatever, just ask, and I'll answer the best I can. I saw a lot of comments on people that are playing this game, and there's a lot of questions that just don't get answered. And I understand people are trying to figure this shit out, or even figure out if it's even worth playing the game, right? And it really is. Like I say, if you like puzzles, you have a lot of patience, you like problem solving, and you don't expect to move at the speed of light, it's an amazing game. Graphically, it's beautiful. Control-wise, it could use some work. There's some stuff that the developers could really hunker down on and kind of fine-tune. But that's all with time. This game just came out a couple days ago. There's a lot of things that they need to learn from. They need player feedback. So, but if you're thinking about this game and you've seen enough videos, and it's like, if it does have enough intrigue for you, I highly recommend it. I can say it's the slowest game you never knew you'd love. It really is. And it's the most relaxing, stressful game I've ever played. And it's just, I don't know. Well, like I say, any questions, comments, leave them down at the bottom. Get back to them as soon as I can. And, yeah. Have a good one.